Goes to show you there's so much mess out on the internet. But you know what? I love this song because it is about our objective, which is bias. So turn to your page 3 of your notes and let's talk about what is bias. Well, bias is something, as you can see here, is going to underestimate or overestimate or overrepresent, I should say, a point in a study, survey, or an experiment. The bottom line is bias is bad sampling. And that's the objective that we're talking about today. What is bias? How is bias established? And on the next video, how we can overcome bias. But we all have some type of bias in terms of the way we think. I'm very biased. At one point, I was biased against JCs, junior colleges. And I remember when my kids wanted to go to a JC, I was like, when my daughter wanted to go, I was like, oh, no, 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 no. Okay, now when my son wanted to go, I was like, it's not that bad of an idea. But the difference is this. My daughter's more motivated and more focused. And my son, I wasn't quite sure if he did go to a 4-year college, if he was going to graduate on time. Well, the reality is, homeboy is graduating on time, and that was my bias against the JCs. Now I am no longer biased against them because my thoughts are, seriously, going to a JC, do you know how many thousands of dollars you can save? Oh, 10, 20, 30. So that was my bias. What is yours? Now, as we talk about other parts that come with bias, it's the idea of sampling. Now, convenience sampling is a type of bias. Why? You just pick a person that you can reach easily. When we do surveys in this class, and those of you who are taking AP Psych, you are straight up convenience sampling. We're going to be taking a survey in this class, I think it's today, if not today, very soon, and that's straight up convenience. Why? Because, okay, this class was convenience for her to get the information from you guys. So, and that's what it is, easily reached. And you can see how that's going to be biased because is that a true representation of the entire population? Oh, no. Let's talk about another type of bad sampling technique. Okay, oh, I mentioned this, but you can also write it down. I mentioned that it's not an accurate representation of the population. It underrepresents it. It could even overrepresent it. It really kind of depends. Meaning, this is an analogy I give all the time, but you get it. You take President Obama's approval ratings from South Central. Well, obviously, bias, where are we taking the information from? And that's not an idea of underestimation. That's going to be an overrepresentation of him doing well in terms of what the American people feel. So it can be an underestimation, underrepresent, and I'm going to put a slash, or overrepresent the data. So let's move on. Another type of bad sampling technique is here, volunteer sampling. And volunteer sampling is exactly as it says. I volunteer to take your survey. Now, I'm crazy busy, so if I volunteer to do something when it comes to a survey, I've got an agenda. Given the current political climate, if someone asks me a question about about politics right now, oh heck yeah, I'm definitely going to volunteer and answer that question. Okay, why? I have a strong response. I have a strong agenda. I feel strongly about something. Do I need to say Trump? But anyway, okay, and obviously not for, but against. So that's the idea of volunteer response. When someone calls me on the phone and they say, "Do you have a minute to take a survey?" and I ask them, "What is it about?" and they tell me, and if it's political, I'll answer it. If it's not, I'll just say no, thank you. I'm completely volunteering to answer their questions. Why? Because I want to make my voice heard. Okay, now let's look at our questions here. Let's continue. Let's read number 6, and as you read number 6, go ahead and highlight. Okay, so here we have a situation in which we have a member, so we have some congressmen. They report that we have 1,128 letters that were received on a particular issue, and 871 opposed the legislation, opposed the bill. And then someone said, I'm surprised that most of my constituents opposed the bill. Well, the reality is, not necessarily. They just had a strong feeling against it. They wanted to say, "Oh, no, 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 we don't appreciate it." That's your idea of volunteer response. Strong feeling opposing the bill. And what's happening now? If I have a person that, in terms of customer service, if they do a really crappy job, I make a point of writing letters to everybody. Why? Because I expect better customer service. But in the same respect, if I have a survey and the that they're asking me to do, and customer service was mediocre, I choose not to respond. Why? They were average. So they've got to either do extremely well, and I will volunteer to take their survey, or they've got to really be terrible, and I will volunteer to take that survey. So let's continue. Number 8, please read it. Now, here you guys see this all the time. I try not to give these people eye contact, because the minute you give them eye contact, they'll snatch you. And then you've either got to be, nice and polite and go, no, thank you. And then if they keep asserting themselves, you just have to be straight up rude and just walk away. So this is, as you can see, approaching a person, clipboard in hand, straight up convenience sampling. Okay, and you guys, like I said before, are going to be doing a lot of convenience sampling. When you start to take surveys, when we take these, I want to say in about a week, you're going to be asking friends, family, teachers, why? They're convenient for you. Okay, the problem with this, now let's look at what the book says. The problem with this, the book says in terms of the mall, that you've got people that hang out at the mall tend to be unemployed. Okay? So therefore, of course, that's going to establish a bias. I'm saying that, okay, people that go to the mall have money to spend. So if they have money to spend, they must be employed. Well, unless they have a rich uncle. Other than Uncle Sam, of course. Okay, so that's why I said you can't shop if you're broke, therefore unemployed. Okay, so, but regardless of which way you want to think of these, either way, both of them are biased, and we need to be able to randomly select people to come up with a legitimate answer to. We need a random sample to come up with legitimate information. So, ta-ta for now. Okay, I'm done with this song. It's kind of totally quirky. Okay, now this is a real TTFM. Ta-ta for now. Ticker, ticker. Why aren't you